If you thought Diddy was about to come home, think again, because he has just been hit with another lawsuit, and now some of the allegations being made against him are worse than anything that we have heard so far, and it all is up in the air whether or not he is actually going to potentially just get arrested again as soon as he gets out of jail. So this is the latest, okay? Apparently he is facing a diabolical lawsuit from a child star, an ex-child actor, who accuses Diddy of... I thought he was having crazy freak-offs on some freaky cucked out stuff, but now he might be on... Allegedly, he might be on some Michael Jackson stuff with the young'uns, with the young boys. It's crazy.
A former child actor has accused Sean Diddy Combs of him back in 2007 at a networking event in the Hollywood Hills. Now, Sean Combs denies this, but let me walk you through the allegations. This former child actor says that they met Sean Combs at this networking event, and he started making small talk with him, telling him that he had some projects in mind for him. That's when, according to the lawsuit filed this week in Los Angeles, that Sean Combs took this actor into a back room, and that is where he says that he him. Now, we don't know who this former child star was. They have filed this lawsuit anonymously under a pseudonym, just saying that they were under the age of 18 at the time. Now, I want to read you part of the lawsuit, but I do want to warn you that the details are graphic. Quote, defendant Combs pulled down plaintiff's pants and began to all while Combs was simultaneously, the lawsuit states, quote, defendant Combs then performed while continuing to. Now, a spokesperson for Combs has denied these allegations, telling me in a statement, quote, this complaint describes events that allegedly occurred nearly 20 years ago and is based solely on the plaintiff's account. Their statement goes on to say, quote, we are confident that the facts will demonstrate these claims are without merit. Now, this lawsuit is the latest of mounting legal troubles against Combs. As you all know, Combs is currently incarcerated on the East Coast, serving more than a 4-year sentence. He is appealing that conviction, but just last week I confirmed with the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office that they are reviewing a case against Combs. What does that mean? Well, that means that Combs could potentially be facing charges in Los Angeles. That, along with this lawsuit and dozens more.
Diddy got a weird case. Why is he around? Okay, certified bad boy, certified. Okay, so here's the thing. We don't know if this case that he's potentially facing in Los Angeles is actually the same case as this civil case that's been filed against him. It could be the same situation, could be a completely different one, but apparently it's been confirmed that prosecutors are looking to hit him with new charges in Los Angeles. So this all came out the same month that got announced, and this is a TMZ article about how Diddy may be facing another trial in Los Angeles, which the district attorney is currently reviewing these claims. So it says Sean Diddy Combs is facing a new DA probe, potentially new criminal charges, and it's all tied to an LA SUL battery claim made against the mogul. The case involves publicist Jonathan Hay. So it sounds like a different case. Who filed a police report saying that Diddy SULly battered him in 2020 and again in 2021. Detectives have presented their finding to the LA County District Attorney, and it's now under review, according to the DA spokesperson. Okay, that's him. That's the Vic. It says Hay filed the report in his hometown of Largo, Florida, but it later got transferred to the authorities in LA, where Diddy allegedly committed the crimes. In the report, Hay said he was working on Biggie Smalls' remix. He was working on a Notorious B.I.G. remix with Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, and said that Diddy would show up at times while they were there working. Diddy, of course, was Biggie's longtime friend, mentor, and producer, who made him a huge star before Biggie's LA murder in 1997. So it says, in September 2020, Hay claims that he ended up in a room with Diddy, who started whacking off into one of Biggie's shirts before telling Hay to come finish in a... Well, I don't... You know what he's talking about. Hay claims Diddy took the shirt he'd finished in and threw it at him. And then in March 2021, Hay claims he flew to LA to continue his project with CJ, but again ended up with Diddy inside a room. And Hay alleges that Diddy called him a snitch and forced his ding-dong into Hay's mouth. It says, we're told LAPD detectives investigated for several months and recently submitted the case to the DA, who will determine if there's enough evidence to charge Diddy. It says in 2025, he was convicted in federal court for violating the Mann Act by transporting people across state lines for the purposes of S. I thought it had to be S workers, but the way they phrasing that. Transporting people across state lines for the purposes of... That's crazy. While he was acquitted of trafficking and racketeering charges, he is serving a 50-month sentence in federal prison. We reached out to Diddy's camp, but so far no word back. So, all right, I'm going to read you most of the relevant paperwork from the new civil case, which was from the child actor. So obviously he's potentially facing charges on this, but also the situation with the child actor. So I've got the most relevant parts of that case here, and I'm going to read it to you in full so you can get a full understanding of what's going on with this. All right, let me just get this all crispy and nice for you guys right here. Yes, lovely. So this is the plaintiff, John Y.H. Rowe, which I believe they've said is a pseudonym. So this isn't actually the person's name. It's John. He's a John Doe. Or in this case, I guess it's a John Rowe. John Y.H. Rowe rather than John Doe or whatever. He's keeping his identity secret, which is actually crazy. I mean, I'm all for protecting victims and their identities, but at the same time, like, bro, you can really just say somebody is out here diddling kids and just not even put your face, not even stand on it with your name in your chest. Like, that is a little bit spooky. But anyway, let's hear the claims, okay? Says he's got causes for action against Diddy Combs, Lang, Talon, Amsel, Eisenstadt, Fraser A. Talent, Literary Agency, DeAndre Lang, and does 1 through 100 hereinafter collectively defendants, and each of them complains alleged as followed. So the John Doe says they were a child victim of sexual assault at all times relevant herein, and is entitled to protect their identity in the public filing by not disclosing their name. They're a resident of California, county of Los Angeles. They've been informed and believe that based on the allegations that Diddy is an individual who at all relevant times was a resident of Los Angeles as well. And so the plaintiff is informed he believes defendant Lang Talent is an unknown business entity who at all relevant times was conducting business in LA. They basically say defendant DeAndre Lang is the owner of Lang Talent and lives in LA. Plaintiff is informed that Amsel, Eisenstadt, and Fraser A. Talent Literary Agency is a corporation who is conducting business in LA. So you're all in LA and we running it through LA. So the true names, identities, and capacities, or whether individual, associate, corporate, or otherwise, of defendant does 1 through 100 are unknown to plaintiff, who therefore sues said defendants by such fictitious names. When true names, identities, and capacities of such fictitiously designated defendants are ascertained, plaintiff will ask leave of court to amend the complaint to assert the true names, identities, and capacities together with the properly charging allegations. So I believe what they're suggesting is that actually he doesn't even know the real names. I don't know if he's suggesting that some of these are fake names. Amsel Eisenstadt, I don't know. Okay, but they're basically suggesting that these could potentially be fake names. And he's basically saying, we're trying to get to the bottom of this and find out what the real names are. I'm trying to find out who did this to me. And, you know, basically, I'm trying to find out who did this to me. And we're going to expose them, name them, and shame them once we get the names. But even the fake names, we run in the lawsuit with the fake names, and then we're going to put the real names in there. So it says plaintiff is informed and believes them thereon alleges that does 1 through 33 entity does were individuals who were acting in concert with defending Combs. So does 1 through 100, I don't know if that's saying defendants does 1 through 100. Is that they're basically saying that there's 100 people, John Does, like there's 100 people. They're saying entity does were individuals or entities who control or act in concert with Combs. So they're saying that, I'm pretty sure it's saying 100 people that are unknown to the plaintiff could be getting targeted, and they're saying 1 through 33 were individuals who were all acting in concert with Diddy, basically saying that all of these people, 33 people, should have helped, and they all facilitated Diddy's abuse, the essay of the plaintiff at the event. So plaintiff is informed and believed thereon alleges those 34 through 67. The industry does, they were representatives of the industries, event promoters, chaperones, and others who recruited the victim to the subject event, approved his attendance, and failed to protect him there, negligently supervising him or failing to warn him or his guardian about foreseeable danger. So it goes on to say that John Doe's 68 through 100 are persons or entities whose identities are unknown or who are responsible in some manner for the occurrences herein alleged. Plaintiff will amend the complaint to allege their true names and capacities when ascertained. Plaintiff is informed and believes thereon alleges that each of the defendants designated as a Doe is legally responsible in some manner for events and happenings herein alleged, and that such defendants proximately cause plaintiff damages alleged herein. Basically saying there's over 100 people we're saying helped Diddy diddle me. That's what's being said. So anyway, let's get to the facts of the case. Defendant Combs, that's Diddy, is a hip-hop music mogul, a Grammy-awarded musician, rapper, producer, and record exec who rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades. Defendant Combs has signed some of the biggest stars in music, including Rick Ross, Machine Gun Kelly, Notorious B.I.G., New Edition, Mace Pitbull, Lil Jon, Fabulous, French Montana, and groups like Danity Kane. Defendant Combs founded Bad Boy Records, and the company has since sold over 500 million records, producing 38 platinum albums and won multiple Grammy Awards. In addition to Defendant Combs being a music mogul, Defendant Combs utilized his talents as a producer outside of the recording booth, working behind the scenes to produce the reality TV series, including Making the Band and Run's House. By featuring himself in the TV series while simultaneously serving as a producer, Diddy, the defendant, further increased his public profile and continued to solidify his position as a powerful figure within the music and entertainment industries. In or around 2004, the plaintiff launched his career as a child actor. They quickly developed a passion for the craft of acting. They immediately began working in the entertainment industry, securing initial roles that provided early professional exposure and experience. After his initial success in these and other high-profile shows, and as plaintiff sought to advance his career and compete for more substantial and higher-profile opportunities, he engaged in professional development efforts, including hiring talent managers, including the defendants Lang Talent and DeAndre Lang, and Amsel, hereinafter collectively referred to as agents. Based on information and belief, the agents knew the industry better than the plaintiff and would help him advance his career. As is common and expected in that entertainment industry, networking played a critical role in promoting plaintiff as an actor in attempts to advance his career and land future opportunities. Accordingly, the agents frequently sent plaintiff invitations to industry gatherings, professional events, and social functions where producers, casting directors, actors, and other industry professionals were present. Through these interactions, plaintiff hoped to build professional relationships, increase his visibility within the industry, and position himself for future projects and larger roles. The agents undertook to represent plaintiff while he was a minor child and to act as his professional representatives, advisors, gatekeepers, and protectors in the entertainment industry, including with respect to industry access, invitations, introductions, networking events, meetings, and opportunities involving adult industry participants. A special relationship existed between the plaintiff and the agents, where the agents A, accepted the plaintiff, a vulnerable minor, as a client, B, held themselves out as having superior knowledge of the entertainment industry, C, undertook to advise, guide, and promote plaintiff's career, D, controlled or substantially influenced the industry events and professional functions that the plaintiff attended, and E, communicated opportunities and invitations to the plaintiff, and F, received or expected to receive financial benefit from the plaintiff's career, advancement, bookings, relationships, and potential role. And it said the agents further stood in a position of trust and confidence because the plaintiff was a minor and was new to the entertainment industry, lacking the ability to independently evaluate the safety of adult-only or adult-dominated industry events, and reasonably relied on the agents to determine which events were appropriate, safe, and professionally necessary. Plaintiff and his guardian reasonably relied on the agent's superior knowledge, judgment, and access to protect the plaintiff from foreseeable risks associated with unsupervised contact with powerful adult entertainment figures. The agent's undertaking included, but was not limited to, a duty to exercise reasonable care before sending plaintiff to events, to vet the event, hosts, sponsors, attendees, and purpose, to determine whether minors would be present and supervised, and to determine whether alcohol, drugs, secluded rooms, or private meetings with adults would be accessible, to warn the plaintiff and his guardian of known or reasonably known dangers, to accompany plaintiff or arrange for a responsible adult chaperone, to prohibit plaintiff from being isolated with adult attendees, to maintain communication with plaintiff and or his guardian during the event, and to remove the plaintiff from any unsafe or suspicious situations. The agents had exercised substantial control over the plaintiff's professional activities, including his attendance at industry events and interactions with adult industry figures, including the event. The agents decided, approved, transmitted, recommended, and or encouraged the invitation to plaintiff to the events, including the event. The agents had the ability to decline the event on the plaintiff's behalf if they failed to condition the plaintiff's attendance on parental consent and adult supervision. They did not instruct the plaintiff not to attend, not to meet privately, or not to interact with any adult, including defendant Combs, without an agent, guardian, or chaperone present. So basically saying they failed to let people know you can't be alone with Diddy. Crazy. So by undertaking to represent plaintiff, a minor performer, and by directing or encouraging him to attend industry functions for professional advancements, the agents created or increased the risk that plaintiff would encounter powerful adult industry figures in settings where plaintiff, because of his age, career dependence, and reliance on his agents, would be vulnerable to manipulation, coercion, exploitation, and abuse. The attack on the plaintiff. At all times relevant in and or around May 2007, so this is a long time ago. This is nearly 20 years ago. Plaintiff was a minor child under the age of 18. In or around May 2007, the agent sent plaintiff an invitation to attend a networking event in the Hollywood Hills in California, aka The Event. Upon arrival, plaintiff checked in at the event and started mingling with other actors, agents, and industry people present. At some time after the plaintiff had been at the event for a little while, plaintiff noticed that defendant Combs, Diddy, was also at the event. When plaintiff first noticed Diddy, he was talking to other actors while Diddy was mingling with other people in the crowd. Shortly thereafter, Diddy made his way over to the plaintiff. Diddy began to make small talk with the victim regarding prior acting events and let me get this fixed here. Prior acting events, and Diddy told the victim that he thought that he would be a good candidate for an upcoming project that he was producing. Diddy told the victim that he wanted to speak to him privately about some potential opportunities that he had in mind for him. Diddy guided him to the back rooms of the event, and Diddy and the victim went into one of the back rooms together. Diddy shut the door to the back room behind them. Once they were in a back room, Diddy had a couple of sips of the alcoholic beverage he'd brought with him. Diddy offered the plaintiff, who was a minor at the time, some of his alcoholic beverage, and the victim took a few sips of the beverage, and after a few minutes, he began to feel the effects of the drink. At the same time, Diddy was standing against the wall making small talk with him regarding potential roles that he thought he could play. Unexpectedly, Diddy started to touch the plaintiff. First, Diddy began to rub on his arm. He told Diddy that he didn't feel comfortable with the way that he was touching him. Diddy tried to relax him and continued to touch him, moving his hands down his body, beginning with touching his arm and then down to his stomach. Then Diddy pulled down the plaintiff's pants and began to fondle his bits, all while Diddy was simultaneously touching his own bits. Diddy then performed on the victim, the A minor, while continuing to touch his own bits. All right. Diddy then pulled up his pants and told the victim he would see where they would go from there for the role that he had in mind for Diddy's project. The plaintiff was in shock and pulled his clothing back up. Diddy turned around and exited the room, leaving the plaintiff behind alone. Shortly thereafter, the victim exited the room and went back to the main area of the event. They wandered around the event in utter shock. Eventually, they left the event and waited in front of the venue for a ride to pick them up. Neither of his agents attended the event. The agent sent, permitted, and/or encouraged the plaintiff, a minor, to attend the event without either agents attending with him, without arranging a chaperone, without confirming the plaintiff's guardian would be present, without providing a safety plan, and without ensuring the plaintiff would not be left alone with adult industry figures in private rooms or secluded areas. The plaintiff was left to navigate an adult entertainment industry environment alone, despite being a minor whose professional prospects depended on pleasing and impressing powerful adults, including producers, executives, celebrities, and agents. The agent's absence deprived plaintiff of the very supervision, advocacy, screening, and protection that a minor actor reasonably depends on his agents and managers to provide. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that before the event, the agents knew or reasonably should have known that Diddy was expected to attend, would have access to performers and aspiring talent, and would be treated as a powerful entertainment industry figure whose interest in a minor actor could have materially affected the minor's perceived career prospects. Defendant entity Does, 1 through 33, and Does 68 through 100 failed to supervise, warn, and/or control Diddy and his conduct against the minor. The victim is informed and believes and thereon alleges that defendant Amsel, defendant Lang Talent, DeAndre Lang, defendant industry Does 34 through 100 failed to chaperone, protect, and/or alert the plaintiff about defendant Combs. The plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges the event was promoted, used, or understood by the agents, Diddy, and other defendants as an entertainment industry networking function where representatives could place clients in proximity to producers, executives, celebrities, and potential collaborators, including Diddy. The agents expected to benefit if the plaintiff obtained work, relationships, publicity, or professional opportunities through the event. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that Diddy and agents spoke prior to the event in order to conspire to create an event disguised as an industry meeting in order to provide defendant Combs with an opportunity to come into contact with minor children like the plaintiff. The agents and Does 1 through 100 all acted in furtherance of that conspiracy by later sending out invitations to or offering minors, including the plaintiff, access to attend the event. The plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that at all times material hereto and mentioned herein, each of the defendants formed a civil conspiracy by agreeing to commit the wrongful acts alleged herein and taking part in acts in furtherance of that conspiracy resulting in harm to the plaintiff. The plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that prior to the incidents described herein, defendant Amsel and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and or employees, including Michael Eisenstadt, Milton Perea, defendant Lang Talent, and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and or employees, including DeAndre Lang, had been informed by employees, contractors, agents, and others at all relevant times that Diddy was known to have essayed, harassed, and abused and assaulted other individuals. It says that they failed to keep defendant Combs from having physical conduct with individuals, including the plaintiff, failed to report the behavior to law enforcement, and failed to implement any protective or disciplinary measures against Diddy. Plaintiff is further informed, believes, and thereupon alleges that defendant Amsel and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and or employees, including Michael Eisenstadt and Milton Perea, defendant Lang Talent, and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and or employees, including Deidre Lang, continued to allow defendant Combs unfettered access to their actors and to secluded rooms or properties with persons including plaintiff where there was no oversight, chaperoning, or supervision, despite their duty to protect minor actors, including the plaintiff, who hired defendant Amsel and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and employees, including Michael Eisenstadt and Milton Perea, defendant Lang Talent and Doe's 34 through 100's officers, directors, agents, managers, and or employees, including DJ Lang and their talent agency and managers. Wow. So basically, all right, he's saying that you basically lined me up to get diddled by Diddy and everybody knew what was going on. Now, he's got to somehow find some proof that they knew what was going on and they condoned all of this. Now, Diddy's team is clapping back and they're saying it's a bunch of lies. It says, Diddy to former child actor, you sit on a throne of lies. There he is. It says, Diddy plans to fight a lawsuit claiming he had S with a and he's pursuing all avenues to the legal system that the legal system has to offer. Diddy's spokesperson, Judah Engelmeyer, responded to a recent lawsuit from a John Doe who claims he was a child actor when Diddy allegedly him, telling TMZ this is a lie and completely made up. Mr. Combs has never essayed anyone. Engelmeyer added these allegations will be disproven like all the rest, and he's going to pursue all avenues he can to defend himself and make sure those who start and spread lies are held responsible. Look at him with his tongue out there. Source close to Diddy clarifies Engelmeyer is talking about pursuing legal avenues against Diddy's accusers. TMZ broke the story. The lawsuit claims Diddy rubbed his body and performed mouth stuff on the alleged victim at Hollywood party in 2007 while they was a the former child actor is now an adult man suing Diddy for an unspecified amount of damages, and he named some agents in the suit claiming they had a responsibility to protect him. Now, it just makes you wonder, why now? Why is now the time to bring these sort of charges? Why is now, not charges, but civil suits, but why is it happening now? I'm very, very curious. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe them. I'm not saying I do absolutely believe them. But what I'm saying is we're going to need to see some evidence, because when you start talking about stuff that happened 19 years ago, you got to ask the question, why didn't you bring this up at the time? Where did your career go? Who is this person and where did their career go after this? Did Diddy help them out? Did they work with Diddy? Did they get any other opportunities? Did their career fall apart? What happened after that? And how can you prove that 100 John Does knew about this? I'd like to see the discovery in this case. I think it will be interesting. I don't, off the rip, know how much merit it has. I didn't see a lot of evidence there. It was really just a story. I didn't see a lot of evidence. It's probably moving to discovery now, and Diddy's saying that he's going to disprove it. So look, I'll keep track of this story. I'll let you know if anything else happens. It sounds horrific, but at the same time, we're gonna have to see. I'd like to see some of the evidence. And why now? Why 19 years? Why did you wait? Why didn't you have a word then? Why didn't you bring this up a few years ago when Diddy was first getting his charges? I don't know. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I'm just curious. So that's my thoughts on it. That's all my videos for today. I'll be back tomorrow with some new topics, man. And I'm catching up. All right, I'm catching up, and I'm not going to talk about politics for a bit because I see how it gets now. All right, there's no point. There's just no point. So I'll be back with some more cultural stories, man. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Show some love to all the other channels that I got going on down in the description box, gang. I appreciate you so much. And for now, I'm out. Appreciate it. Peace.